and Tony Legale. Tony, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing awesome, Mitch. Happy to be here. It's Friday morning. Week's about over. Gave her everything I had so far, so just got to make it through today and rock and roll, baby. But we got some sports. We got some stuff to go over, and things been going crazy in your world too.
Well, things have been going crazy in your world as well. You were out of the country there for a little bit. That's why we took a little bit of a break.
That's right. Studying some Gaelic rugby. That's all I got there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, you were over in Ireland and having the time of your life, I have heard. So that's awesome.
Yeah. No, happy to be back. I know most would just probably go into this elaborate deal. I'm not going to because I just am so happy to be back home and to be doing our show and to have normal time connected to football kickoffs and things of that nature.
Right. Well, anyways, you have gone into the spiel with me. I know you had an amazing time.
It was awesome.
I know you got berated by a guy for having a rugby football. So that was hilarious.
This is a story. I mean, this is a great story. Good cheer. I mean, it's day 3. We're in Galway and the tour bus parks and we all get off or whatever. And I'm coming back and I thought the last 2 days that we're spending on the trip, we're staying in this castle. And so I'm thinking like, I didn't bring my PS5. We got no sports. Like, I got to do something here. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking, well, let's find an American football. There's got to be American football at a toy store or a Kmart or whatever. Something. Yeah, they don't have those there. So anyways, bought a rugby, full size rugby because it's close enough and, got big enough mitts where I can still chuck a spiral and maybe make some fun, play some catch, Yeah. So I'm walking back to the tour bus, being a
goofball.
Yeah, I mean, trying to catch routes and stuff on the way back. And bus driver for another tour bus, as I throw it and catch it and, wearing a Knights jersey, so he knows I'm probably American.
Oh, that's screaming American right there.
Yeah, I'm rocking the Knights in Vegas, right? So, or in Ireland, and says to me, young man, you wouldn't even know what to do with that if you had it in your hands. That's what he says to me. And I was like, oh, I just, messing around, throwing it, whatever. I was like, it's kind of like American football, though. That's why I bought it. And he goes, yeah, but the difference between an American football and carrying that one is you got to be a man to carry that one. Oh. Oh. This guy's just feeding me the rights right before I get on
the...
Yeah, dude, totally different tour. And just basically calling me out for being a punk bitch,
I mean, he was giving you your rights there, telling you are not worthy.
Yep. So that was pretty entertaining. We had an intercontinental dispute on my trip.
That's great. You're causing problems even in another country, Tony.
Right. What's been going on with you? It's almost Halloween.
It is almost Halloween, but before Halloween is my birthday, so it's a fun month coming up here.
All right. So how old are you going to be?
I'm going to be 29.
29. Almost 30. Life's about to change.
Almost 30. I feel it already, though. Honestly, this last year has been interesting when it comes to aches and body giving up a little bit. Yeah, I'm feeling that 30 already.
All right. Well, yeah. It's happy birthday, man. So when is the actual day? I believe it's October
13th.
13th. That's what I said. 13th.
So no, it's a couple Sundays from now. That'll be fun.
All right. Oh, it's on a Sunday.
It's on a Sunday this year.
We're gonna throw together a nice little birthday 5-teamer.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm excited though because the Saturday before, so the 12th, the Bobcats have a massive game against the University of Idaho.
Whoa.
Probably the biggest game of the year besides Cat Grizz, which is always the biggest game of the year no matter how good both teams are. So that'll be a fun game here in a few weeks. Idaho's like the number 5 or 6 team in the country. And depending on what poll you look at, the Cats are 3 to 4. So
granted, they don't have. I watched one game. I just want to talk Cats real quick for a sec here. I'll watch the one game. There's no backup quarterback. It's Tommy Mellott is the quarterback, correct? Like he's just running the show. Is what
yeah, it's not like it's been the last couple of years where there's been that interchangeable Tommy Mellott, Sean Chambers duo. There's not that this year. It is the Tommy Mellott show. He is the only starting quarterback. There's not that 1A, 1B that they've had the last couple of years, which has been awesome. But I will say at the beginning of the year, third string quarterback and now the second string quarterback is, I think, basically Tommy Mellott 2.0.
And why do you say that? I mean, just his experience, obviously being a senior, like.
So he, for one, the kid's a freshman, so next year he'll probably be the starter. But why I say that is he runs super well. He runs the Bobcat playbook really well. Mm-hmm. And he has the throwing ability like Tommy Mellott does. So he's not the best passer, but again, he's a freshman, so that passing's only going to get better. Okay. But he has the ability to pass just like Tommy does, and I think that recipe has worked really well for the Bobcats, and so might as well lean into it and have another one just like Tommy.
I go to Bozeman games. I go to the Cats games. I have a great time. I enjoy it. As a diehard Cats fan in yourself, okay, is there something about the team this year that's different than the others, the other years in your mind that you can see working out? Because I'm talking about that eye test, that edge, that, oh my gosh, look at North Dakota State's front line. They're massive, right? Is there
they are.
Talk to you about the Cats that's potentially like that or already is set in stone, some sort of quality like that?
Oh, man. That's a great question. So I would say at this point in the year, I definitely think the maturity of Tommy Mellott helps. Having him be in his fourth year as a starter helps a ton because that doesn't happen very often in college ball, especially at our level where you have a guy that started all 4 years. So I think that helps. I think our offensive line is extremely, extremely experienced. We have a lot of older guys on our line. We have an All-American on our line, Marcus Weir, right out of Billings here. And then you go to the other side of the ball, our defensive line is just stout. We have Brody Grebe from Melstone, who is just an absolute unit.
Okay.
Paul Brott from Billings West, who's an absolute unit, one of the nicest human beings also. But that's, yeah. We just have a lot. And the thing about the Bobcats that I love is there are players you don't know who they are because we just cycle people in so often. We're kind of like an NFL team where we are 2 or 3 deep in a lot of positions. And you can cycle people in and not know them from week to week.
Okay. Well, that's massive upside. I mean, that's best case scenario, obviously. I mean, I'm just curious about that because it comes down to it every year in the playoff, really, and the whole team is really defined by one or two games, right, based off the matchups. And from what I've seen in the last couple of years, like we get there, you get down to those pivotal times. Is there something that will take them over the top? You're thinking maybe the experience and in Tommy Mellott, and I probably agree with you a little bit on that one for sure.
And another thing too that I want to bring up too is the Bobcats play style wears people down. I mean, talking about how a lot of the team is like 2 or 3 deep, we at running back are 3, maybe 4 deep with very skilled, very capable running backs that on most other teams are probably starters. I mean, just to name the top 2, Scott Trey Humphrey and Adam Jones are averaging over 100 yards a game, and it's not even like they're trying.
Adam Jones looks nice.
Adam Jones is legit.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
And it's not even like they're trying.
Well, I mean, based off who they've been playing, it probably does look that way.
Well, at this point in the year, of course, they are not playing the toughest competition.
There you go.
But, I mean, even against New Mexico, they did really well against New Mexico, and that's a Division I school.
That's true. They played them tough. Listen to this. I didn't even get a crack out of you. I didn't even get a smile. You know, I'm trying to keep the subject light. You're over here getting all fired up like you're watching the Mariners play the Astros. It's unbelievable.
Oh, thanks for bringing that up, too. It's been a week of misery for Mitch, okay?
If I'm right, if I'm correct, you were at the game last week in Bozeman, weren't you?
I was at the game last week in Bozeman. Again, another shout out to Paul Brott. He got me the ticket to go.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was at the game, and it's really cool what they do at Bobcat Stadium. So they don't have, per se, handicap seating, but you buy any ticket. So I could buy a standing room only ticket, and when you get there, you have to get there early. They have, right above the student section, they have this section of handicap seating that is first come, first serve, and they just put you there. And it's right in the end zone.
Well, that's pretty sick. So obviously that's a good benefit. Let me ask you something though. What if all those seats are gone?
Then you're kind of out of luck. But there's, I think, like 20 or 30 seats.
Oh, so they got that's sweet.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's like the entire section. It's sick.
Nice. And obviously, you got to see a one for the ages. A lot of scoring, a lot of big plays. You know, and when they like I said, when they play a high school team, that's usually the.
Yeah, they did not play a good opponent, and I will say that they played Mercyhurst, who I will give them all the credit in the world. They're moving up to FCS.
Their quarterback, he was saucy. The little lefty guy, like he was saucy.
So funny story about that. They have like 3 or 4 quarterbacks on their roster, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my brother and I, before the game, were watching the warm-ups, and we were watching the 4 quarterbacks and the starter. We were like, there's no way they're going to start the short lefty at quarterback. He was like the least, like they had a prototypical quarterback, like probably 6'3", 6'4", big arm, like a big dude. And I was like, that's got to be their quarterback. Like he is the prototypical quarterback.
Yeah.
And then just this short lefty comes out, and I'm like, there's no way they're starting this dude.
Guy walked on. Guy who plays basketball just walked on. He's like his first game. You're like, suit up. Go do the warm up at least. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But that kid, that little lefty, he could spin. He was good.
He was decent. Yeah. I mean, they've got promise. It's just going to take them a while.
For sure.
And that's bound to happen when you're moving up. Especially, I feel like the D2 to the FCS level is a pretty big jump.
Yes, I would think so. So yeah, you can definitely tell it was. But hoping, I know the strength and schedule is going to have an increasingly 3 to 4 week deal there. I know there's some opponents coming up. You said their next game. Who's their next game against?
So they're playing Idaho State on Saturday.
In Idaho,
in Pocatello. So
that'll be a good one.
That'll be a good one. And then the next week is their homecoming game against Northern Colorado.
Let's go. They'll wax North Colorado, right?
They'll probably win the next 2. Idaho State's not great either.
But you said they're ranked number 5.
That's University of Idaho.
Shoot.
So both the Idaho schools in the Big Sky.
So the Cats start playing some football around November. Is that what you're saying?
Middle of October.
Okay.
Yep, middle of October they'll because they'll play Idaho October 12th. And then somewhere in there they have UC Davis, who's pretty good. They have Sac State as well, who's really good, looking to actually move up to the FBS.
Oh.
And then the Grizz, obviously, the last week of the season.
Well, should be a promising year. We certainly covered the Cats for the episode. What else has been going on? Something aside from sports, what else has been going on? What are you gearing up for here?
So what I'm gearing up for is I've been doing a lot of radio stuff. I've been co-hosting with my friend Leah for the last couple of weeks.
You did.
I'm actually going to be getting ready to go to that again today from 11 to 1, so that's fun. Beyond that, doing some school, and that's about it.
What are you studying there, Mitch?
So I'm studying media studies.
Media studies. I mean, you're in it. You are the media.
I basically am already doing what I'm studying to do.
Love it. So just refining the craft, if you will. Wonderful.
Pretty much. Yep.
We have enough light as of today. We have enough light to shed on a realistic take on the NFL and fantasy production.
Yeah.
As we gear up for the full rest of week 4. We just finished the Thursday night game last night, Dallas Giants. Let's cover that. Let's go there, and then let's get into some fantasy here.
Yeah. So yesterday you called me, and we were talking about the spread of the game, and I said it was -6. And you were like, there's no way that it's going to be that close of a game, right? And I will eat my words here. I said, no, Dallas is going to wipe the floor with New York. Like, there is no way it's going to be that close of a game.
Actually, you called them a dumpster fire.
I did. I called them a dumpster fire.
Yes.
Because they are.
Yeah.
But to their credit, they played Dallas extremely well last night. Again, they're kryptonite. If Daniel Jones could learn to play football, they would probably win a few more games.
I've watched some games of Daniel Jones. Obviously, the the Giants aren't necessarily a well sought after team in regards to fantasy. They have their Saquon, for that stretch of years. They have now they have Malik Neighbors, but outside of Malik Neighbors, you never really tune into those games for fantasy purposes. So they're really not a team you watch. I'm going to just say this about Daniel Jones because the general consensus is that he is the worst quarterback to ever play the game. That is the consensus. I will say I thought he looked awesome last night. I thought he looked extremely good last night. Obviously, he's not the mobile, prototypical NFL quarterback anymore. But I think at one point, he was like 8 for 9 with a tutty, or not a tutty, but 8 for 9. And he was just jiving. I thought, he didn't get a lot of pressure. They did a really nice job protecting him. I thought that Micah Parsons would be an absolute detriment to Daniel Jones and his performance, but they found a way to neutralize him, and realistically, I think the whole entire game exposed Dallas's D and lack thereof.
Well, and I hate to be weird, Dallas was never really. I think they've already been exposed this year of being not the greatest team.
Confirmed.
But the fact that they couldn't blow out the Giants confirms that they're not that great of a team.
Yeah, it really. I saw it clear as day. They're really lacking some offensive weapons. I know like CeeDee Lamb is obviously not who I'm insinuating, and I think Ferguson's a nice addition for Dak, and I think he's going to go to him quite a bit. But that Dowell kid or that kid, the running back, he's pretty good. But they just don't have the. I don't know. We'll see. I just can't. I'm not real excited about the Cowboys, though. I don't think they're a dominant force in the NFL.
No, I think the Eagles are far and away the best team in that division, and it's not really close. I think the problem with the Cowboys, well, I don't want to put it all on Zeke, but it's the fact that they're running out Zeke as their starting running back.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't follow the Cowboys enough to know about their off-season money and their cap and all the moving parts that it takes to build one of these teams anyways. But their run game is
it's not great. And then you're going to obviously lean then on Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. Well, teams are going to know that you're going to lean on Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb.
Mhm.
So they're just going to hone in on that. And I can't blame them. Like, they've become pretty one-dimensional with 2 or 3 yards of carry Zeke, and that's about it.
Well, and I think that's a comparison right there. Like I can't recall if it was you and I talking about this, but I was talking about this recently. You know, everybody's now going to the Bills and saying Josh Allen, you know, spreads the ball around, and these guys like Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb and all those guys are detrimental to their team's success, right? The fact that Josh Allen's spreading the ball around, all this stuff. Like this tide is just now catching some momentum, and
Yeah.
I think you're going to hear it a lot here coming up here. But you know, because right now, like, and as a fan, you know, like if after the catastrophe of last week, the emotions on the sideline and CeeDee Lamb, like if you're not like they passed CeeDee Lamb the first like 6 targets of the game, and he caught 5 of them, and you know, ended up scoring a touchdown too. So like. But I'm saying as a starting quarterback as your team, like if you don't go out on prime time and try to get a touchdown to your main guys, like the guys that those superstars that attract more fans and support,
right?
Like you think those guys, I know those guys have to think about that, like because it's all about the team. It's not. Now I'm not saying they're doing it for the fan base or to grow and all that stuff. I'm saying they're doing it for their team's sake. Like, you know, I'm going to find Jamar for a touchdown. He's frustrated. I'm going to find, you know, and it's on prime time. Like everybody's going to see that. So anyways, getting off on a prop tangent here, why you should bet props on prime time for receivers. Anyhow.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like sometimes, like I'm a big Raiders fan, as everybody knows, and a big Devontae Adams fan. But I feel like sometimes having those superstars like Devontae Adams can be a detriment to your team. Because they are so, I want the ball all the time. I want the ball all the time. Well, that doesn't always work. You do need to spread the ball around so that things are not, you know, so the teams can't hone in on Devontae or Justin Jefferson or whoever the top guy is.
Man, was that not just to wrap up that game, because I feel like it's still on, because it was the longest game I've ever endured in my entire life, because every single play in the first half, and it trickled a little bit over into the second half, but the second half was a lot smoother. But we're talking the most flags I've ever seen, like every play, dude, by both teams. Like those 2 teams are that sloppy. Is that what you're telling me? Like
which game?
The game last night.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they might be. I mean, I do know, again, the Giants are not the best, so they're going to have penalties with false starts, things like that.
Right.
And then I don't know what it is with the Cowboys. They can't figure it out. They've always been one of the most penalized teams.
Yeah. Whew.
Between them and the Raiders, they have the most penalties, it seems like, every year.
Yeah, I don't see much upside for either teams, but you know, hopefully they stay competitive enough to utilize the fantasy values of both CeeDee Lamb and Malik Neighbors.
Here's the upside for the Cowboys: the Commanders and the Giants are in the division.
Right. Well, yeah, we'll see if there's any pieces to their puzzle. I don't know. Football doesn't, typically work that way. You can't it's not like baseball, like where all of a sudden the Dodgers have Jack Flaherty.
Right? Yeah, you can't. You can't do that as much. Sometimes you can.
Sometimes you can. Sometimes you can. You're right.
He's getting Stephon Diggs. That kind of is like the rich get richer.
Well, yeah, but it was also, I don't know. Part of me thinks that was a great move for the Buffalo Bills as a team, because I don't know. I just, obviously you've heard the rumors of Steph Diggs
being a prima donna,
being a cancer to the team's success.
Yep.
So, and Houston, I'm just waiting for that offense to explode, and I've already made up my mind that if it does not, then I'm blaming Steph Diggs.
I think you need to do a mix of that, and quarterbacks always their sophomore year have a little bit of a slump.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm pulling for CJ Stroud. I mean, I love that team.
I love CJ Stroud, but
Yeah.
a lot of quarterbacks do have a little bit of a downfall their sophomore year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we shall see. Yeah, people start figuring out a little bit, whatever. Someone I want you to elaborate on here from either a fantasy value or just someone that brings you pure joy when you watch them. Who has been your shining star through the week, 3 weeks through the NFL? There's someone that you're just real excited about to continue to watch and see what happens.
Yeah, so continuing on my shitting on the Giants trend of today's episode, I have loved seeing Saquon Barkley.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep. I have loved seeing him on a team that's competent, with a line that's really good. And I've loved seeing his production this year. I think he's finally showing what he could have been in New York had they put a team around him.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, you can say whatever you want about the Giants organization and letting him go. But the fact is that if I'm Saquon Barkley, I've been on a losing team my whole career. Like, I'm trying to go win at some point, and I'm getting banged up in the meantime. I'm not getting any younger. I'm not, so I think it's a great move. And I don't think I'm happy. I agree. I think that's a great pick.
Yeah. And the thing about him too. So again, huge Raiders fan. Josh Jacobs left this offseason for Green Bay. Well, he left Vegas, trashing Vegas, saying we're a terrible organization, which maybe we are. I'm not going to say we're not. We haven't been good in 20 years. So there may be something to that. But I did not see Saquon in the media trashing the Giants.
So let me ask you something. It sounds like there's a little bit of a vendetta there between you and old Josh Jacobs. Would you say that how based off his performance, what his actions spoke to you about how he
let me see what he's doing this year, because I haven't even really watched the Packers, I have to admit.
Yeah, he's been with the Packers. I hadn't really watched the last couple of weeks with Love out.
Malik Willis is doing pretty well though.
Yeah, he looked okay. Yeah, I mean, I do the red zone.
Yeah. So he has 300 yards of rushing. No TDs, though.
300 yards of rushings, no touchdowns. How many passes has he caught? None.
He's not much of a pass catching.
No, he's got no hands.
Yeah, he doesn't really catch passes very much. I don't even think he has any stats in it, so I don't think he's caught one.
There you go. Yeah, but he might suit well for a workhouse. Now, A.J. Dillon is still with the Packers.
I think he's still with the Packers, yeah.
Yeah, so that's
rid of Aaron Jones. That's who they got rid of.
Okay, so that's a nice little workhorse kind of mentality. And when Love's back, like Love's going to throw the rock, and I can't wait to watch Jordan Love.
Yeah, I have to give Willis credit though. I watched some highlights of him this morning. He was playing really well, and I don't know if it's the Green Bay. I don't know if it's Matt LaFleur's offense, but he was playing really well this week. So, in the meantime, they have Malik Willis, who's not a bad quarterback. He was obviously just in a bad system.
Yeah, well, maturity, progression, time, all those things can definitely modify a human in the way they think and process. So, but yeah, been a great asset to have when a guy's down, especially a guy you just signed to a massive deal.
Yeah, so, that's too bad for Jordan Love for sure.
Outside of Josh Jacobs, doesn't sound like that's a real tender spot. Is there anybody that you just can't bear to even think about watching in the NFL right now? Any one player?
Any one player I can't even stand to watch?
One dude that you're just like, oh.
Honestly, no. And I hate to say that. Oh, yep. No. There are two.
Well, there's two. There was 9 to 2.
There's two, and they're on the same team. And these are going to be hot takes because they're superstars.
Yeah, here we go. Here's your Chiefs take. Here we go.
Yeah, I cannot stand Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelce.
Oh, my gosh. Why wouldn't you like Mahomes? I get the Kelce thing. I do. But, I mean, what is going on? Like, come on. We're talking athlete to athlete here. What are we doing here? This guy's a legend, bro.
He's a legend. It's kind of like when Tom Brady was really good, and like when Peyton Manning was really good. I could not like either of them either.
So you're just a bona fide hater.
I might be at this point. The problem with Mahomes is, one, he's in the Raiders division. Two, I feel like he's just super cocky, which I don't like. And I will even say Travis Kelce's not as cocky, so he's less hated for me than Mahomes. I can't like him. I cannot get behind Mahomes.
Huh.
And I get he's extremely good. I will admit, even before I admit, or in less time than I admitted than Tom Brady was good. Patrick Mahomes is good. But I just can't. I can't like him.
Speaking of those two and how they pair, not to get off on a totally different subject, because I would like to make a take, I think. I don't know. What do you make of the, I guess, the recent uptick in this Travis Kelce floundering, no longer once he's lost a step kind of talk, and having all the distractions now come full front? Like, do you think that there's something going on in his life that nobody knows, and like conspiracy stuff, like the relationship or whatever? I mean, I mean, I haven't watched these games close enough. That's Chiefs Atlanta game I was in Europe for.
Right.
I mean, I've seen these fake, I don't know if they're fake. I mean, I'm on TikTok and I usually scroll past this AI stuff or whatever because it's just meaningless. But yeah, I've been told that there's like, I don't know, like PR, already typed up PR, how to handle a breakup between the superstars and if it's affecting Travis's performance and all that stuff. What is your take on this?
So I do not believe it is a publicity stunt, or it's the publicity that's causing him to be a little bit less than what he's been. People don't realize he's 34.
Mm-hmm.
I think because he's really risen to fame the last 4 or 5 years, they think he's 26, 27.
Potentially.
Which is understandable, but he's 34. Like, he's towards the end of his career, especially at the tight end position where you're blocking offensive tackles sometimes, or defensive ends.
Tough way to make a living, dude.
Like,
it really is.
He's towards the end of his career, and when you're towards the end of your career, you lose a step. It's just how it is.
Have you watched these games close enough to, I just kind of see what I see and comment on it. I haven't watched, Mahomes, obviously I know having the targets of Xavier Worthy and Rashid Rice as a baseline number one receiver. Has he not been looking Travis Kelce's way? Has he been targeting Travis Kelce? Let me just from the eye test, like game script wise, have you seen him look his way and look him off? I will pull up Kelce's stats here just to share the targets at least. But in the meantime, what do you think about that?
So here is what I'm going to say. I watch the Chiefs twice a year,
and
it is when they play the Raiders.
Wow.
Otherwise, I do not tune into a single Chiefs game. So I honestly am not the person to ask on that.
Week 1, 4 targets. Week 2, 3 targets. Week 3, 5 targets.
Wow.
Dude's got to be tired of blocking.
Yeah. I don't know. The other tight end that was really good for a couple years, it's now kind of fallen off, is Mark Andrews.
I don't know. I can't even comment on it because I don't know what the heck's going on with that team. I don't know what their offense is going to be like. I just don't know. I can't. It's too soon with that team because they got Jackson, and Lamar's going to run it how he runs it because he runs and he's their running back / quarterback. And, I don't know. Now you got the additional piece with Isaiah Likely, and then you have, I don't know. I can't see. I don't know. I can see Mark Andrews fitting in. He's obviously, elite tight end in the NFL. So
yeah,
they got to get him going. I don't know what they got to do. I mean, it seems to me like they got all the weapons. They really do. I mean, even Justice Hill in the backfield, like he looks really good catching passes and running. And I don't know.
Right.
We'll see what happens with that offense. It's too soon to say on that deal. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the problem with both of them, and that's why I brought Mark Andrews up, is the last few years they have been the show. They've been the offense. And both of their teams have gone out and gotten other weapons. And so it may look like they're slowing down, but I think it's just there's more weapons on the team than what there have been in the past.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that could be an adjustment too, obviously.
Like last year with the Chiefs, it was basically if you stopped Kelsey, you won the game.
It was, and you're correct. It was that way because they didn't have a clear-cut wide receiver one. They had Rashid Rice, the rookie. That's supposed to be their guy. So
yeah.
Anyhow, but
so I think for especially Kelsey, you mix more weapons being in Kansas City and him being towards the end of his career. It does just mix for less targets, less catches, all of that.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's going to be a part of the new team, and I think that they're going to reap the benefits. I do think they're probably going to three-peat. I mean, they're probably going to beat everybody pretty good.
There's no reason why they can't, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, I can see that for sure with the new addition, new offense. I mean, yeah, I'm shocked. I'm super pumped that Rashid Rice is getting so much use. I really am.
Yeah, for sure. So let's kind of shift gears a little bit because I want to talk baseball.
Yeah,
at the end of the year, and we've had kind of a sad week when it comes to baseball.
It's romantic.
It's very romantic. Also, just in one instance, really sad. So you have the Chicago White Sox that are tied right now for the worst record in MLB history. They've lost 120 games.
You got a tank for the last three, right?
You got to at least lose one. But for some reason, they hit that 120th, and they've won like 3 in a row.
I mean, yeah. Well, best of luck to them.
It's so funny. So one of the things that I saw was like their Twitter, right? Or their X, whatever the heck you want to call it. And it was like, their team scored more than us. Game over. And just like their PR team is just over it.
It's over it. Wow. Yeah, I would be too. Yeah, that's a tough way to go about the season.
Yeah. And then did you see the last Oakland A's game last night?
I tuned into Thursday Night Football because, if the A's as an organization were going away, I would feel, I guess, a little bit more sad. And I didn't get to experience any of the history at the stadium or whatever that there was. But I can imagine it's probably a nostalgic thing for most. But what I think that Las Vegas and what they're going to provide the game itself and the the Las Vegas Athletics, I think it's a very, very bright future coming for the game of baseball and in the Las Vegas area.
Yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense that there's a baseball team coming to Vegas. Like, right. It's a match made in heaven, honestly. I just wish... Because, I mean, I've been a Mariners fan my whole life. So I've watched the Mariners play in the Coliseum my whole life. Right. And I've obviously been a Raiders fan. So I watched them in the Coliseum for a good majority of my life. And it's just so sad to see the city of Oakland get blow after blow from these owners that are just like, yeah, your city's not good enough.
I mean, I think that's a whole different conversation. I think that's you're diving into how the city's run in the first place. You know what I mean? You know, it's like, I mean, it's got to be a safe environment. It's got to be an accommodating environment. Like, why would I want to spend, especially in today's economy, why would I want to spend a ton of money on taking my family to the game if it's not top notch, or if I got to risk a chance of maybe getting shot on the way to there, you know? Like,
well,
I'm just saying,
I'm going to refute your second point there. So, Minnesota Stadium is on a very known gang street.
Right.
Like,
very true.
There's Chicago is on the south side of Chicago.
Right.
Like,
I understand.
There are other teams in crime areas. It's so sad for that city. I wish what they would have done, because I'm with you. I love that a team is going to Vegas.
Hmm.
I wish they would have put an expansion team in Vegas.
Yeah, like I said, the infrastructure and just what they're trying to do there, I don't know their policies or anything in Oakland by any means, but like, you know, I would just think that the way MLB, NFL, NHL experiences are trending in regards to the destination, in regards to showing up to the stadium, having the restaurants, the shopping outlets, all those things available. If that's not in the desire for the infrastructure, they're going to, for sure, if they're not already, which we all know they are, they're really left behind. You know, and we're talking about money here. Well, how much money can the Oakland Athletics, because it's still its own privately, you know, it's an entity, right? So I think it's a great, like I said, business move for them. Like I said, it's always tough to, you know, have emotional, nostalgic ties, but I just think it's going to be great for the organization, because the Oakland Athletics is a historic organization. You know, like that Oakland A's colors, man, they're so baseball. So baseball colors. The freaking color of the walls green and the stripe on top's yellow. You know, so it's just I see it how you're seeing it though too, especially with the Raiders.
Yeah. I think they need to do like what the Oklahoma City Thunder did when they left Seattle, and just completely rebrand.
Yeah. No, for sure. And you'll see I've seen some of the prototypes in regards to their stadium. I promise you they will have a whole new brand of they will.
Yeah, they need to leave the Athletics behind. Let the athletic history stay in Oakland.
Oh.
And start anew.
Not bad.
I think.
Is that up for debate? Is that what they're doing?
I don't know, but I would take a page out of the Oklahoma City Thunder playbook and not use the name at all. I would change the name, change the colors, whole new identity.
You know, and it's interesting too. I believe they're part of totally different organizations, but I know the Las Vegas 51s. Are they the Blue Jays organization?
I think so. I'm not sure though.
I forget who they're affiliated with, but like it'd be kind of cool.
They're the Aviators now. But yeah.
They are. They changed from the 51s.
Yeah.
How sick was it when they were the 51s? Like with the little
their logo now though is pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Aviators. Far different. Anyhow, let's talk about the saddest thing with your Seattle Mariners, so we can wrap that up real quick and never talk about that the rest of the season.
Yeah, so the Mariners got eliminated because not even that they couldn't win. They were winning. Other teams won.
Okay.
I mean, they should not have been in the predicament they were in to begin with, to where it was coming down to the end of the season. They had a 10-game lead in like July, but since it got to that point, they should not have needed 3 teams losing for them to get in.
After the All-Star break, who's your guy on the team that you're most let down by, and the guy that you're most happy that stepped up and took on a whole new role for this Mariners team.
Yeah, so the guy I'm most let down by is not Julio. He actually kind of turned around and had a decent year. I would say J.P. Crawford, and I hate saying that because I love J.P., but I think he ended at the best just above 200, and that's not good for a major league hitter, especially when he's usually a 250, 260 guy. He's the guy that I am not happy with after this year.
I'd say it's safe to say, because I think he battled an injury, didn't he?
He did. He probably was injured all year.
He battled an injury, but like, I mean, even in the past, like he's missed games, because of injury. I mean, yeah, based off what I've seen and how they utilize him, like I would say he's probably on his way out, right?
The only thing that tells me no is because I don't know if we have anybody to replace him.
Okay.
I would say maybe next year he still hangs around.
Okay.
And then the year after, probably. Because we do have a couple middle infielders. I just don't think that they're ready.
I'm talking about his ability.
Oh, his ability might be gone. Yeah, I don't know. He also could just need to have the offseason and be completely healthy. That could be it, too.
Well, we shall see. And tough days always. It's just like I wish that organization would just get like couples. Like I wish that organization would become like a Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah, we never will. Our owners will not allow that.
Yeah, that would make too much sense. Anyway,
and then the two. I actually have two that I love that have carried us to this point, and one is Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, and
offensively, he's a beast.
He's been great.
I think he is at like 30 home runs as a catcher, which is amazing. Batting average is atrocious, but that's fine. If you're hitting 30 home runs, playing good defensive catcher, we'll take the 210 batting average any day.
Absolutely.
And then Bryce Miller is a surprising pick here. I did not think going into the year he would be one of our top pitchers, and he's been amazing this year.
He has been good.
Yeah.
I like it. Well,
I think he's been cruising though too.
I don't know. I mean, you got to root for Judge. You got to go with the. You got to tune into the game. He's got 3 games left. Obviously, if he tied Roger Maris, and that would be amazing, right? Is
he in the running to do that again?
He's at 58 bombs.
Jesus.
I mean, I think Maris is 61, isn't it?
Yeah, he already tied Maris, so that would be beating his own record.
No, he didn't tie Maris, did he?
Yeah, he did it last year.
Did he really?
Yeah.
No.
That's why I thought he was having a down year.
I don't think he got this close last year. I mean,
I love how we're both just looking it up.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty pivotal information. I think I would remember that. I feel like Roger Maris, I feel like if Aaron Judge broke Roger Maris's record, we'd know.
$23. He had. Oh no, I'm sorry. He was 22. He had 62.
He had 62 and 22, didn't he?
Yep.
So he's already done it.
He's already done it. So he'd be beating his own record.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's obviously amazing. Yeah, I'm just. I'm gonna. We've talked about this before. I think the team has no heart. I mean, that's tough to say, but I just watched them play, watched them battle. I understand there's a lot of games every year and you can't win them all and stuff, but I don't know. I feel like the times that I watched this year really closely, I would either watch Clay Holmes blow a save or them just not executing or rallying when they need to with the great opportunities. Yeah. And I just feel like that won't go away for this team. Like that won't just happen. Like it would be hard for me to believe that this team could get on a heater. And I may eat my words, and that's a Yankee. I follow
They're
it.
going to win the World Series now.
Hey, if that's the case, great, but I just don't see it. I don't see the dog. I just don't.
The only thing that helps me see it is I only see one team that could beat them.
The Dodgers.
In the AL. I could see Houston.
Yeah, Houston will give them a run. I mean,
that's the only team in the AL, so that gets into the World Series. And then in the NL, yeah, probably the Dodgers or the Brewers, just because they have lightning in a bottle. I don't know.
The AL, so you don't think the Orioles will give these guys a run for their money?
Nah.
Orioles
are too young.
Yeah, still?
Give them one more year for me.
What if they get hot?
They could. I mean, young teams get hot, so that's why I'm saying the Brewers might be a pain in the butt too.
Brewers might be. I don't know. I've watched the Brewers. I don't know. Depth-wise, I just don't see
it. They just seem weird. I don't know why they're there, to be honest. But
I don't either. I don't see it. I really don't. 1 through 9, I don't see it.
Yeah.
No. So, yeah. But I'm a big Phillies guy this year. Love the Phillies. I hope they prevail. I think they are 1 through 9 stout.
Yeah, they're pretty stacked. I wouldn't be surprised if they won.
Yeah, I think it may boil down to some execution in regards to pitching. I just think about the Dodgers. The Dodgers are going to be the team with Ohtani and having the year he had. Like, that's going to be a tough team to beat.
For sure.
They're stacked.
For sure. Well, hey, we probably should head out. I got to get going here, go to the radio station. But thanks so much for listening, and we will be back next week.
All right.